What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis. And we got some serious stuff to talk about here, multiple different things here. We'll start with this here. Check this out. Ukrainian President Zelensky says that Russian officials are starting to, quote, prepare their society for the use of nuclear weapons. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky said Friday that Russia has begun to prepare its people for the possibility of the use of nuclear weapons against Ukraine. They're beginning to prepare their society, and that's very dangerous. They're not ready to do it, to use it, but they begin to communicate it. They don't know whether they'll use it or not use it. I think it's dangerous to even speak about it, he says. The Ukrainian leader denies claims that he had called for preemptive nuclear strikes against Russia earlier this week, saying that a remark he made was mistranslated to imply that he would support such action. I don't think they're going to do that. He continued to urge Western allies of Ukraine to implement stricter sanctions that might play a part in driving Russia back. Quote, the world can stop urgently the actions of Russian occupiers. Can we? Can we stop Russia? You let me know your thoughts on that. The world can implement the sanction package in such cases and do everything to make them leave the nuclear power plant, is a quote he directly says. Zelensky says, quote, he's afraid of his people because only those people are capable of replacing him nowadays. Take away his power, give it to someone else. Here's what Senator Chris Murphy has to say. Remember, he was one of the very outspoken senators after the shooting from Sandy Hook, and he has really kind of led the nation in, safety for our country type of standards here. Let me know your thoughts on this. Take a listen.
So President Biden made some stunning comments at this New York fundraiser about the potential for Armageddon. But take a listen to three of the highest-ranking U.S. officials earlier as their views about Russia using a nuclear weapon.
I don't see anything right now that would lead me to believe that he has made such a decision.
We do not presently see indications about the imminent use of nuclear weapons.
We are looking very carefully to see if Russia is actually doing anything that suggests that they are contemplating the use of nuclear weapons. To date, we've not seen them take these actions.
So what's President Biden talking about? Do you see Armageddon as a real possibility?
Well, I think the president is right to raise the risk of nuclear conflict because Vladimir Putin is increasingly getting pushed into a corner. This war is going incredibly badly for him. The mobilization that he has undertaken has backfired. This morning, you see scenes of hundreds of Russian troops essentially refusing to go into training into the front. So, this is a dangerous man, and the United States has to be ready for Putin to use a tactical nuclear weapon. I agree. I don't think there's any sign that he is going to do that imminently, and it's important for us to send signals about what the consequences would be should he make that choice. But I think Joe Biden is right to just, get this country ready for the fact that you are dealing with an incredibly dangerous human being in Russia. The war is going badly, and you just can't predict what he's going to do next.
Somebody I know who has ties to the Ukrainian government expressed concern to me that President Biden might be playing into Putin's hands by escalating the rhetoric. Perhaps those European allies who are already a little bit wobbly when it comes to standing up against Putin might go wobblier if they think, oh, God, if we keep going down this path, we're going to have a nuclear war.
Well, this war can end if Vladimir Putin decides to get his troops and personnel out of Ukraine. He made the decision to invade a sovereign neighboring country, and the blood today and tomorrow is on his hands. Now, I think the president has made the right call to be very clear with Putin about what we're going to do and what we're not going to do. We're not putting U.S. troops in Ukraine. We have been careful about transferring weapons to Ukraine that they could use to make attacks inside Russia. I think as long as we communicate the lines that we are not willing to cross, then the danger for escalation lessens. But I don't want to get into a world in which we start blaming ourselves for escalation. This is Putin's war, and it's his decision as to whether it ends.
Yeah, that's one of the big problems here is when does this war end? And does it turn into World War III? Will we wake up one morning and Russia has dropped a nuclear bomb on Ukraine, somewhere on Ukraine, whether it's on the Russian territory that Russia just took over, which is was part of Ukraine, and now they just annexed it and said, "Oh yeah, the vote was for Russia, and now it's ours." They just took it over, and will it be on that territory, or will it be in Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine? And all of a sudden, you're going to wake up on the news and say, "Oh my God, we have another nuclear bomb that just went off." That would be similar to Nagasaki and Hiroshima. When that happened, the U.S. made the decision to do that instead of having a years-long war with Japan. I mean, you can let me know your thoughts on that, but it a tough decision, but going for a year, I mean, think about how long of the war was in Europe. To do it in Japan as well probably would have taken years as well, and it ended the war quickly. The problem is when you start using nuclear war, it's not a good thing for anybody. It would probably send stock markets, 401ks, pensions plummeting all around the world. They would probably close stock markets, including the U.S., instantly. The Russian stock market has been just completely pummeled. It was down 50, 60%. They've closed it completely multiple times where it was just closed. And how do we stop this? Look at this here. Kremlin insider tells Putin directly he disagrees with the handling of Ukraine war. So Russia is starting to speak out against Putin. But is it enough? A close advisor to Russian President Putin has told the Russian leader directly that he disagrees with the way that Russia's war in Ukraine has been handled, according to U.S. intelligence. Officials anonymously told the Washington Post that the disagreement was detailed in President Biden's daily intelligence briefing on Thursday, although they withheld the name of the Kremlin insider who took issue with Putin's leadership of the war. The Putin's ally, who is known to U.S. intelligence, said that the attack on Ukraine has been mismanaged, especially disrupting the Kremlin's recent order for mobilization of troops and their draft, which the population is not happy with, and flights out of Russia sold out for people trying to leave the country. Quote, since the start of the occupation, we have witnessed growing alarm from a number of Putin's inner circle. Quote, our assessments suggest they are particularly exercised by recent Russian losses, misguided direction, and extensive military shortcoming. Another official added that, quote, a lot of people in the Russian government are convinced that this isn't going well or the right course of action. The disagreement is consistent with the way in which the campaign has gone for the Russian and the atmospherics in the Kremlin. This comes here as yesterday, Ukraine didn't destroy but severely damaged the only bridge that Russia built going from Russia to Crimea when, remember, Russia took over Crimea as well, just took over the territory back in 2014. You can see here Putin's Bridge of Dreams explodes in flames as a gas truck going over the bridge exploded part of the bridge. You can see here it's like a train here, and the bridge has now collapsed in many areas, and Ukraine says more is to come as Ukraine's being careful to not attack Russia on its actual land, but they consider this fair ground because this was Crimea, which is, actually part of Ukraine, or used to be, right? So let me know your thoughts here on this. And this comes after Ukraine has taken back over 6,000 square miles back of territory that they had lost, or I'm sorry, 6,000 square kilometers. And there's actually been more since then. I don't have the recent statistic on it, but since this is territory that Russia had taken over and Ukraine has taken back now. So the tide has kind of turned here. But will Russia retaliate as they're losing ground with a nuclear weapon? Will we wake up to that one morning? Meanwhile, switching gears here in the U.S., the Uvalde School District has suspended its entire police force. Yeah, I seen this and I was like, wow. A lot of people were extremely upset, me being one of them, with how long they waited there in the hallway with the active shooter there. I think it was like 90 some minutes while the guy was just inside there at the elementary school, which was just unbelievable. It was disheartening. Look at this headline here. Uvalde School District suspends the entire police force. Let me know your thoughts on this. I know my thoughts on this. I think that it was warranted. I think a lot of bad decisions were made there, and that this is probably a good decision because those guys didn't seem like they were in any hurry to do what needed to be done for the children there. You can let me know your thoughts. The Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District suspended its entire police force here after months of complaints from the families of the victims killed by the gunman at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, that happened back in May. This just happened though. The school district announced that the department was suspended the following recent developments after, quote, uncovered additional concerns with department operations. I don't know what more they needed, but yeah. As a result of recent developments, Lieutenant Miguel Hernandez, Ken Mueller have been placed on administrative leave, and the district has made a decision to suspend all activities of the Uvalde CISD Police Department for a period of time. God bless them, but they just did not make the right decisions when people were in need. The suspension of Uvalde School District Police Force follows heavy criticism by both families and officials of the police response to the shooting there. Officials waited for more than an hour before entering the school, according to probes that began the week after the shooting, disregarding training that told them to intervene in violent situations immediately. We've all seen the footage. We showed it here on the channel. They just waited there in that hallway for over an hour. The Texas Police Chiefs Association, in partnership with third-party organizations, will continue to conduct a management and review to analyze the response. The Uvalde ex-police chief was also terminated in late August after being placed on leave shortly after the incident. The Texas Department of Public Safety will send additional troopers to the Uvalde School District to monitor campuses until officials are able to reconstruct the police force. God bless them. Yeah, let me know your thoughts here on this. I personally believe that every single school across America right now, and really going forward forever, needs to have those locking door mechanisms. I think that unfortunately, I think they had a rock propped open unfortunately, some of the teachers or whatever, they or maybe even the students or whatever, sometimes they're not thinking something bad's going to happen, and they prop the door open with a rock or something, and bad things like this happen. But nonetheless, they need to have locking doors that automatically lock all the time. And maybe they even need to have a buzzer that goes off if the door doesn't lock or something. I don't know. And they need to have at least 2 police officers or more at the school during, open hours, school hours all the time. For larger schools, maybe more, but every single school should have this, it should just be a part of every single school district's time, all the time. Let me know your thoughts here on this. This is just something that should just be done. I mean, every single city in the country has a police force. It should just be like, hey, during school operations, the schools have, I don't know, maybe at least one, because you got to think there's an elementary school, a middle school, and a high school, maybe at least one per school in every single school. But then you got to think, they go on lunches and stuff. I don't know. But at least one, larger schools, maybe 2. You can let me know your thoughts on this. But this is something that kind of needs to happen. It needs to happen. Congress can literally just fund this. You think about all the things that Congress funds. This needs to happen. We have this at airports. We have this at other government branches and stuff like this. This needs to happen. There's no excuse for it today. Unfortunately, this is the world we live in. It's a really sad part of life, but I mean, I think there's more guns in our country than there is people. Let me see here. Yes, that is correct. There is more guns than people in the United States, according to a new study on global firearm ownership, and this is as of 2018. There was about almost 400 million guns in the United States. So, you can let me know your thoughts on this. It's not like there's a shortage on guns. They tried to pass a sales ban on AKs and quote assault rifles, which we all know what those are. I know that ARs doesn't stand for that, but we all know what assault rifles are, what they generally stand for. And all it would do is ban the new sales of them, just the sales of them. And they couldn't even get that to pass. Republicans won't vote for it. They can't agree to it in Congress. But there's more firearms in the United States than there is people. You can see the chart here. So, yeah, you can let me know your thoughts here on this. But so I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country on a daily basis, and we'll see what happens. So make sure to subscribe down below to our YouTube channel. It's completely free to do so. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can click here to watch my newest video next. And here is my newest video about a 4th check coming out. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.